Good evening. The March 26, 2025 council meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Mr. Rassus?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes is absent. Dr. Vogt is absent. Mr. Vieira?
I'm here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to which republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now read the mission statement of the City Council. The Long Branch Mayor, the City Council, and administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat all members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Certification, please.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. Reading of the approval of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of March 12, 2025.
So move. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Rassus?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes is absent. Dr. Vogt is absent. Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Consideration of ordinance, a public hearing, and final consideration. There are none. Ordinance for introduction. Ordinance 05-25. This is the first reading of Ordinance 05-25 entitled, an ordinance authorizing amendment of restatement on the deed of the dedication and the provincial storm damage reduction easement for Block 298, lots 4.03 and 1.02. Summary. The beach of Long Branch is subject to constant erosion and derogation. The City of Long Branch will, with the State of New Jersey and the United States Army Corps of the Engineers, are working together to contract and maintain the beach erosion control project. As part of the project, the City of Long Branch needs to grant an easement to the State of the New Jersey. I need a motion to introduce on the first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for April 9th, 2025.
So move. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Rassus?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes is absent. Dr. Vogt is absent. Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Public participation for resolutions and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of this meeting for all comments. Need a motion?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name clearly for the record. And you only have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Council President Vieira, concerning fire officials in Long Branch. As far as the Long Branch Firemen's Relief Association, governed under the New Jersey State Firemen's Relief Association, why is someone who's been arrested for forging fire department documents still involved as an officer that distributes relief money to firemen? Councilman Vieira? Councilman Vieira, your lack of government knowledge and ignorance of it just allows this corruption to continue. In case you don't know it, Mr. Vieira, this individual had separation of employment from Long Branch because of Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. Nice to see bad old Long Branch. Corruption continues. Your incompetence continued at the last council meeting. After the public portion, you added several resolutions that were never added onto the agenda, online or on the board outside. And then you went and voted on them, denying the public to speak on them. You're incompetent. Yeah, I'm glad you agree, Vieira. I'm glad you agree on your incompetent. Taxes, taxes, taxes. I and others have stood before this council for years discussing the burdensome and extortionate taxes of the Malone government. The city saw $1 billion worth of redevelopment since 2005, mostly enabled by tax abatement. A redevelopment that was to eliminate a $23 million city debt in 2005, but instead, the city's debt has worsened over the past 20 years by quadrupling. What's worse is that these tax abatements, by getting out of the Board of Education contribution, put an extra burden on the rest of the city taxpayers to support the Board of Ed. And let's make it very clear, the Board of Ed was never going to act to control these tax abatements, because by doing so, the full tax revenue from the city's redevelopment would have forfeited the state funding to the Board of Ed. The city taxpayers got burned, both by the Board of Ed and the city of Long Branch. Even to this day, the Board of Ed is losing $1,300,000 per year in revenue due to Kushner's Pier Village 3 and other developer tax abatements. Team Malone considers it a privilege for Long Branch homeowners to exist in their homes with ever-increasing price tags and taxes. This so the Malone pay-to-play gravy train can stuff their slush funds with the taxpayers' hard-earned money and the continued displacement of generational residents, as well as low and middle-income residents. Long Branch residents have literally been sucker punched by the Malone team in this city's continued redevelopment. The county tax assessor's office is part of the problem as well, allowing brutal underassessments, particularly at Pier Village 3. It has come to the point now where Long Branch homeowners are actually paying rent to the municipal government via extortionist taxes to live on their property. Tonight, I'm urging Long Branch residents to rise up against the Malone team's extortion racket and follow the lead of Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis and other representatives from Pennsylvania, Idaho, Michigan, and elsewhere throughout the country to abolish property taxes as they are known in New Jersey. Governor DeSantis said it best, quote, "If you have to pay annual taxes to keep your home, then you don't really own," end quote. Just like the 1776 tax revolt, let next year, 2026...
1 minute notification.
Let next year, 2026, 250th anniversary of this country's founding, be the year of America's second tax revolt, moving forward with the patriot spirit and purpose of abolishing property taxes, particularly in New Jersey. Now is the time to act. It can be done. Thank you, Governor DeSantis and others, for your pioneering leadership in coming up with solutions in abolishing property taxes and moving this country forward again. Again, thank you, Governor DeSantis, for ending junk government as it's known in New Jersey and Long Branch. Junk government.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members, Mayor Pallone. My name is Brian Thompson. I am not a resident of of Long Branch. I am next door in Monmouth Beach. However, I feel like this is my second home. Both my stepsons were bar mitzvahed at the Pier House restaurant. I walk in your beautiful Jackson Woods, and I congratulate you all on the support you gave to your green team members and others who made that Jackson Woods just a gem of a park. It is fantastic. My dog loves it too. And I pick up after my dog as well, I might add, so please. But in my previous life, many of you may know me as a reporter for NBC New York, and I covered much here in Long Branch, as much as I possibly could, and sell it to my bosses in New York as usually a shining example on the Jersey Shore. Your redevelopment, for example, your school system, for example. There are many things that I've done here. I remember doing a story or two on your DPW and their snow removal efforts for a snowstorm that we probably didn't get, but that's a whole nother story. All I can say is go Green Wave, go. That's how I feel about Long Branch. In my first home, Monmouth Beach, right next door, In past years, we have been, and I'm proud to say this, on the cutting edge of environmental action to protect ourselves, especially against toxic plastic pollution, which unfortunately now is everywhere. We have passed a Skip the Stuff ordinance. I think that's a prime example of what we've done, where, for example, if you're not familiar with Skip the Stuff, all you have to do as a customer is ask for it. A business, a restaurant where you go to get your takeout food would be prohibited from automatically putting it in, but they could have a sign saying, just ask for it. Ask for your plastic utensils. That's all they have to do. It's a very simple ordinance. And Clean Water Action, which is a major backer of this effort, did a survey in Red Bank where they passed it about a year ago. The survey just came out in the past couple of weeks that showed restaurants there have reduced their handing out of plastic utensils by 94%, which makes sense. In other words, only about 6% of their customers actually asked for it. They're not finding a revolt from customers who say, "Where are my plastic spoons?" By the way, if anybody wants a plastic spoon, I have an extra one here. Many of you probably have many extra ones in your kitchen drawer. Just ask your spouses if they can find them, and I'm sure they'll do that for you. So this is something that saves businesses money, and I'm sure you feel the heat from time to time from some of your businesses about taxes or something else. And you can go out to them with an ordinance like this and say, we're going to save you money. Red Bank, they saved 94% of their plastic utensil purchases. It may be only a few $1,000s, but for a restaurant, a few $1,000s is a lot of money. Always has been.
Are you aware that we already have that ordinance?
You do have Skip the Stuff.
Sure, it's section 111-6.
I was not aware, and I congratulate you.
That's right. You can only provide a single-use plastic straw when expressly requested by a customer, and it applies to utensils too.
Excellent. Then I applaud you for that, and I apologize for my ignorance on
We'll
that.
take a look at it and see if we can make it better.
Thank you. Ours also includes condiments, for example.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ketchup packets, soy sauce packets, and by the way, I frequent a lot of the restaurants for takeout here as well. I have to say, I think Ming Ying is one of the, if not the best Chinese restaurant, at least the best Chinese restaurant that I've encountered on the Jersey Shore. Speaking of plastic spoons, you know that the equivalent of a plastic spoon is in your brain. That's the latest research now. Just like that, it's inside me. So this is something else we've done that I would encourage you to look at. And matter of fact, I'm going to meet with a couple of people here in Long Branch later this week to talk about it, and that is a construction containment dust ordinance. When you table saw PVC piping, 5 minutes or 4?
5 minutes.
Yeah, if I
That is it.
interrupt,
I would encourage you to look at that. And one other thing I would also say is look at supporting EPR or packaging reduction ordinances. You will save money with that from tipping fees and the packaging industry having to send money to you to haul away your trash.
Thank
So
you.
I would encourage you on all that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Okay.
Good evening, council members. My name is Nick Ziegler. I'm a sports writer for Sports Illustrated, covering MLB, full-time resident here in Long Branch. I live on 52 Seaview Avenue, east of Ocean Boulevard, a section of the road that dead ends on the beach where 7 Presidents Park and Long Branch Beach meet. Here to raise a concern that's been growing amongst our neighbors in the section of Long Branch. While we understand that the parking permit regulations that were introduced a couple years ago do not guarantee any party parking spot, the limited parking availability on our block has become a concern. Currently, there are 14 parking spots for 15 houses, with 2 houses currently being in development. As you can expect, these are large family homes, 4 or 5 bedrooms each. A lot of people share, and most people have 2 to 4 vehicles with that amount of people there. The ratio of spots to vehicles is creating a daily struggle in the months where the parking permit regulations are in effect, which is currently from May to September 30th. However, the issue kind of goes beyond the shortage of parking that we have. Many non-residents, particularly those visiting the beach, frequently park illegally in these spots, further making the problem exacerbated. Unfortunately, many of these non-permit holding vehicles are not ticketed due to consistent police patrolling, which is understandable considering other priorities that we have in Long Branch here. For those drivers that do receive tickets, seems to just shrug it off and just keep their vehicle parked there for the rest of the day. Furthermore, when we're hanging out on the deck, we see people rip up the tickets and just throw them on the ground. This disregard for the rules not only frustrates us homeowners, but also contributes to the already strained parking situation. Our street has increasingly become a place where people park without consequence, making it difficult for residents to find parking at any time of the day. At the time of the purchase of our home, these parking restrictions were not in place. The regulations have really negatively impacted both me and our immediate neighbor to our left at 54 Seaview. We are in the unique circumstance we share a driveway. We don't have a private driveway or garage for either one of our houses. Furthermore, with the taxes being at about $25,000 a year, having to pay for a parking permit is kind of a little bit of an insult, I think. I urge the board to consider some solutions that would address this issue. Came up with a few here. Increased penalties for non-permit parking, towing vehicles that don't have a permit, exploring some options for permit holders to access the other side of the road, which is currently metered parking. I think that would be really the best solution for us to kind of free up more spots. There's more spots on metered parking than there is on resident parking for our side of the road. We just want to ensure that our tax-paying residents have a fair access to parking spots they need. Currently, renters on the block are also allowed to have permits, which really doesn't seem fair to full-time residents, with households being limited to 2 permits per household currently. Also, just from a safety perspective that we've noticed, especially last year, it's been a lot more speeding and reckless driving on our block. It kind of dead ends right at the end with a roundabout. Ton of people walk there, bicycle riders, families, kids, dogs. Kids whipping their cars around isn't necessarily the safest thing. I think everybody would welcome some sort of, speed bumps to kind of adhere to that. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for letting me speak and address the matter.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. My name is Susan Makaitis, and I live in Atlantic Highlands, but I'm here representing Food and Water Watch. On behalf of Food and Water Watch, I'm here to ask for your support. Food and Water Watch has brought together thousands of volunteers and more than 2 million supporters to fight the sustainable food, clean water, and a livable climate for all of us. The New Jersey legislature will be considering the Superfund Act, S3545 and A4696, a bill that would force polluters to pay for the damage they caused for our environment. The bill has already been passed by the New Jersey State Senate Environment Committee and the New Jersey Assembly Environment Committee. It is similar to bills that have already been passed by the states of New York and Vermont. As a coastal community, you know better than most that Long Branch is vulnerable to the effects of climate change. If the Superfund Act is passed, any municipality in need of climate change adaptation and resilience projects would be able to apply for the funds raised by the Act. This is a great opportunity for Long Branch to support a bill that could provide funding at no cost to taxpayers. Will you please support this bill by resolution at your next council meeting? I have provided a summary document and a sample resolution. It's either in your packet or Amanda has it, one or the other.
They have it.
Many thanks in advance for your anticipated support, and I'm available to answer any questions now or at a later time. Thank you very much.
We'll definitely look into it, and thank you, by the way, for sending that in advance, because even just what you're saying helps us understand it by having this. So thank you.
Terrific. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and additional members. My name's Nick DiGuglielmo, 580 Patton Avenue, Long Branch. I'm here with two concerns, two issues. The first one is the unrelenting, and I'll never give up on it, and it's been voiced by a couple of people tonight regarding the ongoing issue with taxes. And if this poor man is paying $25,000 a year in taxes, God help him. The thing that irritates me is that I don't see any initiative. I don't see any plans, anything to come forward to show what impact, what kind of provisions we might be making to try and look into reducing taxes. I know everything's going up. You've got to pay more for the police. You've got to pay more for education. I realize that, and we're waiting for the budget, which hopefully will be done in the next month or two. But then when that comes out, it's going to be after the fact, and then, well, we've got to pay for this. We've got to pay for 17% more electricity. Well, can't we still make some kind of provision, some kind of thought? What can we wind up doing? In my household, we've got a budget, and we know exactly what we can spend. We don't wait till April 30th to say, hey, we've got that much money, so we'll have to increase the pay or taxes. It doesn't work. So please, all of you, you're brand new on the council. The rest of you have been around. What kind of initiatives are being taken to try and help to lower taxes? And then if that's the case, well, then perhaps, there may be the need for budgetary cuts. Bad word, but it's got to be done. The second issue is something that's of greatest concern. It's sad that Long Branch has made the headlines. The thing that we're all clamoring for as we pay such high taxes are for safe streets. This month has been horrendous in this town. Everything from the murders to the stabbings. I would like to know, what is the council doing to address this? Let's have some transparency. I'd love to see what we can do to make our streets safe, because they're not safe. And if you're going to get all these out-of-towners coming to these multi-million-dollar places, they're not going to venture into Broadway. They're not going to go into the businesses. And for the group of you that are up on the panel that do not live in Long Branch, I'd love to see you guys walk on Broadway, because with the exception of Mr. Vieira, none of you have the audacity or the courage to walk there. So it's of great concern. Great concern. We put out the welcome mat to people from out of state, from people from all over out of town. And what do? They buy these houses, this Section 8 housing, and they don't even do a criminal background in putting them up into different places. I beg of all of you, please address this, because what's making the headlines is not attractive for Long Branch. It's not going to help us, and it doesn't do anything to improve the safety. And as we're looking for prosperity, that's not prosperity, that's fear. If people are living in fear, Mr. Raimoni, that's no way to live. You don't live in Long Branch, sir, do you?
Excuse me?
You don't live in Long Branch, do you?
No, sir, I don't. I live in Middletown.
Yes. I would love to have you walk with me on Broadway late at night. You won't do it. You're afraid.
I'm actually not, but that's okay.
I beg to differ, sir. Thank you.
I'm not afraid either.
Neither am I.
What's that?
Said I'm not afraid to walk, but I have
You're
no,
an exception, sir.
I'm not an exception.
I grew up here. How many murders were there this month? 2.
I know there were 2.
And there were stabbings. And there were other related events that we don't have to go through the whole thing.
No, it's just true.
We don't. But you and I are not in in the general realm.
5 minutes.
Thanks, Nick.
It's frightening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, council members, mayor, public. I'm Enes Bangül. I live in Long Branch on Lippincott Avenue. I'm here to express my support for Food and Water Watch's proposal of passing a resolution about the Superfund bill. This will really help New Jersey to address the problems that we'll be facing with respect to the climate crisis. I'm sure even if you're paying a fleeting attention to the news, you have seen the news that 14,000 houses just burned in California. Asheville in North Carolina was just trashed totally by a hurricane, which, one would think it's a safe place because it's inland. And then after that, there were all these tornadoes that killed, 14 people or 27 people. I'm losing count of all these climate disasters. We really need to address this. And the entities that cause these are these fossil fuel companies like Exxon, Shell, BP. So we need to get this money from them so that we can mitigate the risks of this climate crisis and protect our town. So I would urge you to take this seriously into consideration for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No one else? I need a motion to close the public participation portion of this meeting.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will ask Madam Clerk if there's any changes to the list of resolutions.
No changes have been made.
Thank you. We can take the list of resolutions as a consent agenda. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Rassus?
Yes.
Mrs. Vogt is absent. Mrs. Wittes is absent. Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the list of applications. Approval of a transfer of taxi medallion number 27 from Mohammed Khan to Mohammed Ashmalua. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Rassus?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes is absent. Dr. Vogt is absent. Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Miscellaneous good of the order. Councilman Dangler?
I just want to thank everyone for coming out this evening, and please get home safely. God bless you.
Thank you. Councilman Rassus?
Thank you, President Vieira. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It's always nice to hear everyone's concerns. Please stay safe and have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Rassus. Mayor Pallone?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to thank everybody for being here this evening. Thank you for your comments. There's 3 upcoming events I just want to mention. We have the Burlap Project is our next exhibit at the Long Branch Arts and Cultural Center. The exhibit takes burlap bags, which are being donated by Rook Coffee, and then they're transformed into art by many of our local artists in the community. So the reception night is April 8th. Please go onto our website to find out more information about that. I also want to mention at our senior center, a classical evening of opera, songs, and piano will be happening at the center on April 22nd. That's at 6 p.m. This is a free event, and all are welcome to attend. And finally, please save the date. Our 3rd annual Disability Resource Fair is set for May 3rd from 12 to 2 p.m. also at the new senior center. Join us for resources, music, games, and more. Thank you and have a great week.
Thank you, Mayor Pallone. Also, I want to say good evening and thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming tonight. And Nick, going back to the safety, we take safety seriously in Long Branch. We have our public safety director here, Mr. Brown. And you can talk to him after the meeting. You're welcome to talk to him. Safety is a big thing here. And we know things happen. a lot of times you don't have control. We have plenty of police officers out there, I walk the streets a lot. And, yeah, I know. So, we do take safety seriously here, and Mr. Broughton can tell you that. And, thanks for coming down and supporting us, and we'll take a look at that and, look into it. With that, I want to say good night. I need a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
We could probably